Hello, welcome to Crafty Music Tips. My name is Crafty, and in this video I want to do a little bit something different to what I usually do in these music tips videos. I'm going to tell you a story about a wonderful student of mine, and I'm going to tell you some great results that he had. Here we go. Now, the story begins in 2002. At this stage, I wasn't a music teacher, and I basically just dove in headfirst into this music school that needed to replace a teacher that had left. And so from not having taught at all of a sudden, I began teaching a bunch of students. Fast forward to now, this is the year 2021 that I'm filming this, and it's been nearly 20 years that I've been teaching. And so I guess there would be a number of good achievements that I could feel happy about as a music teacher, but probably the number one, if I really thought about it, would be this one particular student that I'm about to tell you right now. Now, when I met him, it was at an open mic session that I was running at a place called the PA Hotel. Now, I ran this regularly every fortnight, and so he would rock up to a bunch of them. And after a while, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, mate, did you want to have a play?" And I remember the first time he answered, he said, "Oh, no, I just want to listen." And so I got to talking to him and I found out, well, he did play, but he was just feeling a little bit intimidated and he just was more than happy to watch. And so eventually I was able to coax him into it, and he walked home to get his guitar, and he came all the way back with his guitar and he had a play and he did a great job. But gee, he was nervous. And then the next time that he came, I remember he stopped halfway through a song and he just went, I can't do any more. You know, this guy was dealing with a bunch of nerves and a bunch of just inner demons not letting him just really get out there and play. So then there's not too much time that goes by, maybe one or two of these sessions, and he approaches me and he says, "Can you teach me? Can I have lessons from you?" And he used to catch the train to a music room where I used to teach. I'll never forget his first lesson. I asked him about, what it was that he wanted to achieve. And everybody usually says something along the lines of that they would like to get better at their instrument. For him, he wanted to be able to feel confident to be able to perform. First step was the open mic. And so what I was able to do with him is I was able to just get him to feel comfortable in the situation, just playing in front of me, jamming along with me. And then there'd be some open mic sessions where he'd really be able to let loose. And then there was still some where there was those demons just stopping him. During one of his lessons, I thought, I'm going to explain to him something that was explained to me that really helped me. And so what I did is I had a blank sheet of paper and I just drew a circle around it. And in the circle, I wrote the words comfort zone, because your comfort zone is in a zone. There's a specific area of which you're comfortable in. And in order to be able to expand your comfort zone, you have to go outside of that comfort zone. And for him, that was a thing that he was battling with. And so the big thing for me that I learned that really helped me be able to realize how it is that you can get outside of your comfort zone is if you draw a slightly larger circle around the circle, and let's say that the area is 5% larger. If you can muster up the energy and the courage to extend yourself further just into that 5% extra area, well then that's actually what you would say is a safe area, somewhere that it's out of your comfort zone, but it's not too far further than 5% out. That's where you get really nervous and really anxious and really agitated and potentially have a somewhat traumatic experience if you go too far out. You can get some amazing excitement and some amazing positive experiences by going that far out, but just by just nudging yourself just further out into the 5% extra area is the way to be able to, I guess, give your brain, give your insides, the nervous side of you, just that knowledge of, okay, it's all right, we're not going too far out. Now, I'd actually forgotten that I'd shown him this in a lesson. It wasn't until I bumped into him a couple of years later. I hadn't seen him for a little while, and he says to me, he goes, "Hey, that comfort zone stuff that we did," he said, "Gee, that really helped." And lo and behold, what he was doing, he was out and about in the town. Not only was he performing at a bunch of different open mics and that he'd formed a little group, he was also performing solo out at restaurants and at other little events here and there. So it was quite amazing that the guy that was really nervous and that wouldn't even get up and play a couple of songs at an open mic was out there gigging. You know, as a music teacher, you tell a lot of people a lot of stuff that potentially could be great advice, but, you know, people actually have to do it. Now, this guy from this story, his name's Anton, and there's a lot to learn from Anton. Anton did a lot for me as a teacher, just to be able to give me such a buzz, to just see him around performing and doing such a great job, and just seeing he had, you know, like an extra bounce to his step and, you know, more of a smile on his face. But yeah, just sticking to his guns and knowing that if he just extended himself out just a little bit, just leaning into his edges, that he would be able to achieve so much. And he even said to me later that he didn't even think that he could go that far. He was just trying to be able to feel more comfortable playing at an open mic. And so it sounds like a cliche, but look, you never know how far you can go unless you just push yourself and see how far it is that you can take yourself. Now, recently I was contacted by his brother with some very sad news. Anton had passed away, and a lot of people were really shocked, people that knew him, because none of us really knew what sort of health battles that he may have been going through. And so I thought to myself, I really wanted to shoot a video and just give a little bit of a tribute to Anton. Such a lovely person. If more people were like him around the world would be a better place, because he just had such a nice way about him. He was an absolute pleasure to teach. And so if you can take something from Anton's story and just any of those moments where you feel like, oh, it's a little bit too hard, or I'm a little bit too worried, I don't want to sound like a cliche, but you only have one life. And so I'm really glad for Anton. I'm really glad that he was able to get out of his comfort zone and push himself further. And so while you have time on the earth, while we all do, we may as well do it for Anton. Don't do it for Anton, do it for yourself. Wherever you are, Anton, I'm really glad that you were able to be in my life. And just before this video goes, the musical spirit, I guess, if you will live on in my life with Anton, because not only do I have his memories and a great success story of his to be able to impart to people, but his son, Anton, had left him some guitars in his will, and his son, lovely fella, until recently didn't ever play guitar. And so a bunch of his guitars, he thought, well, there was too many for him to be able to handle in his life. So I very, very luckily, I'm very humbled to be able to own two of Anton's amazing guitars. I didn't think that I wanted to buy any more guitars, but I thought, well, they're beautiful guitars, and I thought, well, I'll think of Anton when I'm playing him. And I thought, well, what a great reason to have him. So here's one. I'll just quickly show you. Absolute beautiful guitar. This is a 1981 Maton version of a 335. Absolutely beautiful. And also from a similar era, here is a Martin 12-string. I didn't think I wanted a 12-string, but then I played it and I thought, wow, it's beautiful. So it's safe to say every time that I'm going to play either one of these two instruments, that I'm going to think of Anton, and I'm going to try and do him proud with the music that I'm playing with his instruments. His story is going to live on, and I hope that you've found something that you could take out of that story. Wherever you are, Anton, it was nice knowing you, mate. So yeah, that's it for this story. I hope that you got something out of it. My name's Crafty. I'll see you in another music tips video really soon.